Begin recording.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Vashawn Jones, visionary of Fedora Outlier LLC. And we have some questions from a viewer by the name of Steve that I am happy to answer, happy to clarify with a caveat. As an assistive technology instructor, teacher, specialist, coach, whatever the market it says you are a teacher of assistive technology. In our haste to put stuff out and to help our clients, we make mistakes that we didn't mean to make. A lot of times it's because we do it so fluently and so easy that we forget to explain it. It's like we start on step 3 versus step 0 and then 1 and 2 and then jump to 3. So Steve writes in, and I'll read it so I don't get that stuff out of context. Let's see, I'll have Siri read it. Siri, read it.
New line. In part 1, you mentioned you like Windows better than tabs, but you did not explain the difference between these two things, nor did you explain how to switch among open windows. Could you do that in a future presentation?
Yep, Steve, I can do it right now. So why do I like Windows? Just my preference. I don't know, it just visually, aesthetically, I just like Windows. They're absolutely, from a totally blind person's perspective, no difference except for how it shows up on the screen. And because everything else on the Mac that I do, different applications, and even you do, are controlled by Windows. Now, in Finder, there are tabs, and on Safari, there are tabs, and but navigating by Windows is my preference. Now, the reason why, and you can do this with tabs, switching between the two or the multiple windows, I would press Command tilde, which is the key right above the tab key. So instead of switching between apps with Command Tab, I use Command tilde to switch between the various windows. And you can also do that with open tabs as well. Again, it's just my preference. When I'm working in the Finder, I switch between windows versus tabs a bit more easier. And that's what I teach, but I do show both, especially if you're a visual person, because you can, assuming that you can see it, you can see the various tabs versus the hidden windows clutter. A lot of times I'm demonstrating something to a sighted person and I want to get the clutter off the screen, so I'll use a window versus having 10 tabs open and then they're seeing extraneous stuff that they don't need to. So there you have it on that. Question 2.
New line. In part 2, you went over how to enable/disable the various sidebars, but I don't remember you mentioned how to access them once they are enabled. That would also be helpful in a future presentation.
It's going to be helpful in this presentation, Steve, because I'm going to do it now. So the sidebar, once you enable them, they're going to show up in Safari here.
I can live, Finder, VoiceOver, Safari.
All right.
Link, frequently asked questions.
And so I'm just on a website. I'm going to go up.
Out of view to vertical split sidebar group.
Right there, top left of the website. I'm gonna start from the very top of the page.
Toolbar,
which is the toolbar.
New tab button.
New tab. And I did switch the tabs just so I could be able to explain that. So you can create a new tab by pressing that. Well, if I need a new window, I just Command in. Don't really have to go there.
Sidebar group.
But again, that's something that is just extra on the screen that I don't need as a screen reader user. All right, and so that's the tab. That's the sidebar, and the two things that we have enabled.
Inside bookmarks selected. Radio button.
We got bookmarks enabled, and it says 1 of 2.
Reading list. Radio button.
And we got the reading list enabled. And then VO right arrow again.
Bookmarks. Scroll area.
This is the various bookmarks.
Search bookmarks. Search text field.
You can search them.
Bookmarks. Table.
You got the table.
Favorite bookmarks menu. Row 3 mobile bookmarks. Row 4 collapse.
Bookmarks. All the things that are dealing with the bookmarks, and that's how you would access the sidebar. The things that you have enabled in the sidebar, and once you're there to navigate through them.
Mail.
let's go back
Me-
to your questions.
New line, new line. You also casually mentioned that it's possible to add or remove things from the main Safari toolbar, but again, I don't remember you explaining how to do that. I thought it was in preferences, so I re-listened to that part, but either I blinked and I missed it, or you didn't cover it.
Oh, all right. And so I didn't. Going back to Safari, where it's located is under View, Customize Toolbar, and then from there you can drag and drop the various items that you want in the toolbar.
Safari.
Dragging and dropping is something that is covered in any one of our courses and all of that great stuff. But nevertheless,
Menu bar. Apple.
menu bar.
Safari file. Edit. View.
Go to View.
View. Check mark. Always show toolbar. Customize toolbar ellipsis.
Customize toolbar. VO space
Customize
bar.
toolbar. Drag your favorite items into the toolbar. Dot collection.
Here's the collection of things that you can drag.
Insert /forward toolbar item. Image.
Yeah, the backslash.
iCloud tabs toolbar item. Image.
iCloud.
Share toolbar item. Image.
Share.
Show tops home toolbar. History. Side. Bookmark. Autofill toolbar.
All that good stuff. That you can add to it in the event that you need it. Now, I do find myself in the toolbar a lot just because right next to it is the address bar, and so it's quicker in some cases if there's not a key command to go to the toolbar. If it's something there like the reader that I want to access, then I'll have that in the toolbar and it's there. And so that's where it's located. Sorry, not in preferences. I even went to preferences because I'm like, you must have missed it. But no, it's in the view menu in Safari.
Mail.
All right, question.
New line, new line. In part 3, you went over voiceover settings using the voiceover utility, and you mentioned all navigation and why you like it versus grouping navigation. While you and I know what these are, I think it would have been helpful to tell the audience what they are and how they differ, giving the user the knowledge they should have in order to make an appropriate choice, rather than just telling them to try it and make a decision as to which one to use based on what they encountered during their trial.
Got you. So a lot of web testing, and I'll get to that in your next question. And I do switch between the two. DOM navigation is a view that your screen reader dictates to you based on how the developer has the site laid out. And that's why I like it, because I like to picture what they were thinking as I navigate through their site. Grouping navigation takes the items, for example, a paragraph, and navigates you by that item selected as you move through. So paragraph by paragraph, link by link, table item and table item. And so it's just based on grouping versus how the site is actually laid out. And that's why I like it. Now, if I need to move to a site and I want to navigate through something that has things on it that I need grouped together that I want to navigate through, then I'll switch. And there is a key command and voiceover help that you can do to easily switch between the two for web testing. Again, not covered here, but definitely is something that is a toggle that you can set up in voiceover utilities.
Safari.
All right.
Finder. Voiceover. Sticky. Message. Amazing. VLC. File. Numbers. Pages. Notes. Sky. Logic. Pro. Text. Mail.
Yeah, as you can see, I got a bunch of apps open. Should have closed them. All right, next question.
New line, new line. By the way, you say that grouping items in a table is that Windows thing, but in 30 plus years of using Windows with a screen reader, I've encountered anything to do with groups or grouping only in structured Braille mode. And it's not even the same thing as grouped items in a table or group navigation with Safari plus voiceover. If there's something I'm missing here, it'd be greatly appreciated if you could point it out to me, as I would like to know where this is. Try it, and warn my Windows trainee clients away from it. LOL.
All right, and sorry about that. That whole Windows thing was definitely a spoken thing, and to be honest, I haven't personally used Windows in 16 years, so it was probably something that I vaguely remember about navigating the web back in Internet Explorer 5 or something, and I just said it. So that was definitely a misspoken thing that Vashawn Jones shouldn't have said. So I apologize for that. Next question.
New line, new line. In your comments regarding navigating images with descriptions, you said that when you're doing web testing, you check this box. Does that mean that only images with descriptions will appear while navigating a page? If so, how can you know what you're missing unless you select the all option and then report to your web designer for whom you are testing that some images don't have descriptions? Sounds like there's something I didn't understand here.
All right, yep. And I should have been more clear. That's something that I toggle between always and with descriptions. And that way, if it remotely shows up as an image, I'll know. But then to quickly know if it had or any desire to have a description, then I'll switch to only images with descriptions. I generally start with only images with descriptions if I already know that there are images on the website, which I get a report that says there's 7 images, and so I'll switch to always. And guess what? If I'm navigating through images and nothing shows up because there's no description, then I'm 3 steps ahead of what I need to do. And so that's what I meant with that. Sometimes I kind of conflate one thing with another. The point that I wanted you guys to get out of that is exactly what I just said now. You can switch between only images with descriptions or all images. And all images will, a lot of times, if it's no description, just say image or a bunch of crazy text. But yeah, so that's a web accessibility testing shortcut that we teach. All right, let's see. Steve, what else you have?
New line. Working toward being a better Mac user. I remain sincerely. New line.
Yep. All right, and so Steve, you got any other questions? You out there, if you have any other questions, then you know how to reach out. Let's change the world.
Safari.
Let's change the world
Live.
together. And yeah.
And record.